Hey everybody, so if you're following our website training, then so far you've gotten your website set up with a host, you've gotten things set up with your theme and kind of looking at things like that. So I wanted you to get started with getting content on your site. Now, don't worry that you don't have any bells and whistles on there right now. It's important to be building content in the background and working on those things, okay? So let's go ahead and get started with that. So we're in WordPress right now. You've gone to your URL/WP-admin. You've entered in your username and your password, and then it takes you to here, right? So to create your first post, you're going to go to post. Oh, and actually, let's fix something really fast. If you go to settings, and then you're going to go to reading, I want you to click on that, because there's a feature that you can enable, and I get asked this a lot, and that is when someone goes to your website, there's two options. You can either have it to where they can see your latest post. So if you go to fitbabysteps.com on my website, you see everything that I've posted most recently, right? But you may also notice that some websites don't have that. Some websites have, every time you go to it, it's the same thing. So one example is if you go to Apple's website, right? If you go to Apple's website, it's not a list of the most recent blogs. It's like a static homepage. And I've seen coaches do this. I've seen coaches have a homepage and it'll be like, sign up here for my challenge group, sign up here for my coaching, or a little about me. And I've seen that, and for them, total kudos to them. I have had done that on my web. I had my blog, it worked really well. I switched over to that, it's called a static page view, and boy, did my readership really lower. So this is just what I go with now. It's easier for people to navigate. As a usability person myself, you want to limit the number of clicks that people get to your content. So for someone to know, oh, I have to go click on the blog to read her recent post, it's just too much work. So it'll be at your latest post, but I've had people wanting to know how to make it a static page, and you can do it like this. But let's keep it at your latest posts. Now, to create a new post, you have two ways to get there. You can either go to new up at the top and click post, or you can go on the side and click posts. If you click on all posts, you can see all the posts that you've written. So if you want to edit a post, or even let's say you've written a draft, this is where you can find it. But I'm going to go ahead and click on add new post. And you're going to start off by giving the post a title. Now, when you give your post a title, I want you to think about keywords. Think about someone doing a Google search for something. So if you say the new thing I learned, that's not, and let's say you're talking about size and something you learned about size, you're not giving enough specific information, keywords that someone would type into Google. But if you're like size review, everyone's typing size review in, so you might do something like that. So size review, whatever, it'll be more flashy than that. Then you're going to want to get into writing your post. Now, some tips for writing your blog post. Don't be afraid to share yourself and share your story, because people really connect with the person. Be vulnerable. And think about that. There is a really cool podcast that talks about this. Let me pull, it's ProBlogger. That's what it is. ProBlogger, if you want a little more help on this. But talk about your journey. Let's say I'm typing things in here, right? You can add media. So I might add in, I could upload a photo. So I'm going to click on upload files in the top and select a file. And then I can add in a photo, right? And it's taking a second to load. And then over here on the right-hand side, there's a title option. And go ahead and enter in those keywords again. So if you're doing a size, if you're talking about you doing size, you might type in size review or size transformation, because when your Google goes to, or any search engine, if someone goes in to search for things, these images would show up, in the ratings, in the results, if you have these in. But if you don't have size in, no one's going to know that this is a review of a size workout, if you don't actually have it written. So write it in the title. Then you can also pick the size here. That's totally up to you, and you can change the alignment to make it like on the left side, the right, whatever. I'm going to keep it as it is because I want to show you one thing that you can do is you can click on it and then you get these little adjusters, and I like to just manually make mine smaller. Just makes it easier. Right now, if I was going to enter in a link to a product, so let's say you're talking about size, right? I might go and get the link to size, or maybe I'm referring to an old blog post or referring someone somewhere. Here's how you can take care of that. You highlight it, you go up to this little hyperlink logo, it's called a hyperlink logo, and you click on it. And then you paste it. Now, one cool feature about WordPress is, let's say you're referring to an older post of yours, which I recommend you do as much as possible. So let's say you're talking about the size program and you want to tell someone about a 21-day fix recipe that you've been doing on it. You can go back through here and find it. You can even search for it here and click on it. But I'm manually inserting a link, and I'm going to click Add Link. And so then it's automatically entered into there. Another thing you could do is create categories on the right-hand side here. So you can say add new category if you haven't added the categories yet, or let's say I've already gotten the size category created, so I'm going to do that. I can click on those, and that's an easy way that someone can navigate your site to see, for example, all of your recipe posts and things like that. That really helps. Some people like to have what's called a tag cloud on their site. I don't. I like it without, it's cleaner. But if you have a tag cloud with your theme, it's a couple of words that are, someone can click on it, like recipes, and it'll show them all the recipe, any post related to recipes. So you can type in any words here. You can type in size, you can type in, cardio, and all these different keywords, and the tag cloud on your website is going to show the most used words you've entered in here, and people will look at those. Let's see if anything else I want to share with you. I'm not going to share that with you yet. All right, next up is you can choose when you want to publish it. So you can publish it right away, or you can schedule it. And sometimes you might want to tweak with things and see what are times that work really well for your audience. I have no big suggestions there. I have not tested it. And for me, when it's done, I want to get it out. I try to schedule twice a week. So if I've written it on Monday, I might schedule it, for Thursday, just so that it's consistent. Most bloggers will tell you that whatever you do, actually all successful bloggers will tell you, whatever you do, be consistent, so that people know, oh, it's Monday morning, I should go to Tara's website and type in her address, and I'm going to see what she has. Like, I know she's going to have new content up, or, oh, it's Thursday, Tara's going to have something new. And I never believed that advice, but then I think about the bloggers who I follow, and it's true. I go to their website on those days. So if you click on edit, you can change when you want it to go. Now, let's say you're not done with the post. All right, you can click on Save Draft up at the top here, and I'll show you how to get to that in a second. But if I want to publish it, I can click Publish right here. So let's just save it as a draft. And you can also click Preview, and it'll show you like what it looks like on your website, which is really helpful. But what I recommend is just be simple. Just share your story, tag it, categorize it, and boom, you're done. I wrote a blog post today. In the 15 minutes I was waiting for my pre-workout drink to kick in, I just whipped up a quick blog post on, hey, here's what is going on with life. So here's how you access your drafts. Remember how I told you about all posts? So you can go to all posts, and then you can click on drafts right here. Yes, I've got a lot of drafts. You can click on drafts, and then was it size review? I think it was. You can click on it right there, and you can keep editing it and publish it when you want it. So then another thing I want to show you is, let's say you've already published it and you want to know how to edit. It totally depends on your theme. My particular theme, I can edit the entry right here. If I click on this, it takes me right back to that screen that we were on. Sometimes it's at the very end of the post. You just have to find it. And by the way, this is just, remember I'm at my homepage. So these are all my most recent posts. Every theme has a different way of presenting it. And again, like I told you with the theme setting is, a lot of times I don't tell people to buy a theme right away, because it takes some time to learn what you like and dislike and try different things. Like, don't feel like you're going to get it right the first time, because you won't. I can almost promise that. and so you might look like this is what I have found for me is my favorite way of showing the posts. So anyway, this is my tutorial on how to create posts, and I recommend that you just give it a try. Don't be a perfectionist. Quit sitting and saying, oh yeah, I'll get to it if you're doing that. Just do it. Jump in and start sharing those posts. Oh, one more thing. When you do your post, you want to make sure that people know you posted it, right? So don't forget to copy your link. So let's say this is my size review. I'm going to click on it, and then I'm going to go to Facebook, and I'm going to share the link. The best way for Facebook traction purposes to do it is to share a photo from your post. Just share the photo, like you'll have to upload it to Facebook, say like, hey, here's my latest blog post, check it out. And then say the link is in the comments. Because if you include, at least right now for Facebook, if you include a link in your post, it has less visibility. The other thing that I like to do is I like to pin my post on Pinterest, and I haven't downloaded the Pinterest button, but y'all should know how to do a Pinterest pin. If you don't, Google it, but pin an image from your blog post and make sure you label it. Okay, just a second. Make sure you label it like blog post or size review or whatever you have for it, and pin it to Pinterest so that your Pinterest followers can start to see it, and it starts to get that visibility. And the cool thing about Pinterest is it keeps passing it around, and it gets traction even while you're sleeping. And over time, you can go back to older posts and repin them again so that it gets reintroduced into Pinterest. But I know I did a blog post on, like, it was a picture of me with the 21-day fix containers, trying to see if I can find it. It was a picture of me with the 21-day fix containers, and it was like my honest thoughts on the 21-day fix. And holy cow, that post, see if I can find it. That post gets me a ton of traction because people really want an honest opinion, and I'm really honest, probably brutally honest. Here we go, I'll show you the photo. There we go. 21-day fix review, and I used a different text on there for that one, but I get a ton of traffic from it. And the more people that go to your site, the higher up it turns up in the results of a Google search or whatever search engine. It's going to be higher up the more your post gets shared and stuff. So since mine's floated around on Pinterest a lot by having that catchy image, most of the people who come to me through my 21-day fix review. So that's super important. He distracted me. There was one more thing I was going to tell you. So pin it to Pinterest, and let's see, gain traction. I think that's it. But if you have any questions, feel free to let me know. But yeah, just focus on getting that content up, getting your good images. You know what I do for mine is I take my Facebook images from the last week. Let's see. I take my images from the last week and I just upload them like that. So these are all things I posted to Facebook as I was sharing my journey. So I didn't have to create any new stuff. So that's a really helpful way of doing it. The other thing is if you're hosting challenge groups, anytime I have a new post here, I'll share it with my challenge group. Or if I have a client who's wanting help with a recipe, I will, if I whip up a quick recipe and I do a blog post on it, which is super fast, post a photo, post your recipe. I use that link to send to them. Every time you're sending that link to someone and they're opening it from their computer, it's increasing your website's traction and usability. So, you're upping the chances of you're upping your SEO, which is basically how high up your site shows when someone searches for that. It's a whole technical world that you can totally go into detail with, but that was like my SEO for dummies. So any questions, let me know. I promise I'm done now. All right, bye.